Hey guys, and welcome to this session of Workflow Wednesdays. In this session, we're going to show you how you can create documents, upload them into journeys, and use them in any type of journey. We're going to take an example of when you need to terminate a relationship with an employee and how the system can automatically fill out all the variables you need. So let's take a look at it. So to begin with, how do you add documents to the system? Well, you click the Documents tab. You click Add Document, and from here you can upload any type of document you want that's a Word doc. In this case, we're going to add this document here, Employee Termination Letter Template. You can write a description on what it is, give it a name, and whatever else you think is relevant. You can put a status showcasing if it's a draft document, active, or something that we used before, but you want to disable it. Let's just click Save now. When the document has been uploaded, you can see that the document looks like this. Now, what's interesting here is that all the variables that have these curly bracers on both ends, those are variables that you can replace with tokens from within the system. And it's a good rule of thumb to try and label these variables with something that tells you an indicator of what it actually is. So in this case, we have a document called Changes in Employment. We want to start by adding the termination date here. We don't know what that is until that's been added by a supervisor. We're also going to use some variables like the person's name, the name of the company, and other things. Now, whenever you add these, when you create these documents and you want to build them for reusability, just make sure that the variables, they don't include any spaces or large letters or any unique characters from specific languages. Just keep it all in lowercase with no spaces in between and give it a name that's really easy to use and remember. Now, when you upload the document, the system will automatically detect all the variables that have curly bracers on both sides. Now you can take a look at how a document like this would look like if you would give some test values. But before you do that, it's a good rule of thumb to look at the information that's here and think if it's a different type of data than text. So for example, here it's last workday. You want to make sure you change that into a date. Termination date, turn that into a date as well. Supervisor email here, that's an email variable. But everything else is just a text. Now let's fill out the test value for preview. Here we have some simple variables that we've added. Just click Save, and once you've saved it, you can preview it. And now you can see that document has been pre-filled with all the info that was added there. Now, this just shows you how it would look like if you had an actual traveler going through a journey and you'd replaced some of the tokens with information from that journey itself. So this is a great way to make sure that the document's been built the right way, it works, and if you would replace the variables, it would look the way you want it to look. Okay, now let's put this into practice. How can a document like this actually work within a journey that you build? So here we've created a pretty basic journey, a journey that's intended for whenever an employer needs to send a resignation letter to an employee. Someone is being let go from an organization. So the first thing that happens here is that a traveler gets added to the journey itself. And the first thing that happens then is that an email goes out to the supervisor who is about to terminate the employee relationship. And it just asks him to fill out a simple form with a link. And the form that's being filled out will look like this. So it's basically just going to ask the supervisor to put in information about when is the employee going to be terminated, their last work day, the reasons for it. And it's going to ask, and in this case, it's going to ask the supervisor to put in the scheduled date for the meeting of termination. So they want to make sure that that's done in person, not just with a cold email. Now, second thing that will happen is that the system is going to create a document. And as you can see here, we've selected the termination letter that we uploaded before. So you can take a look at it by just clicking the eyes icon there, and you can see exactly how it would look like. You can see all the variables, and the next step here is actually replacing these variables with the tokens that make the most sense. So in this case, we have something called company name, and again, if you click it here, company name is just the variable that has company name in the document. So whatever we put there, that's going to replace that within Journeys itself. So here you can start to kind of fill out the variables. So just click the plus icon, click company name. There you have it. That's going to get replaced. You might also just want to have this static and just write whatever whatever it is in text, if that's better, and makes more sense for you, if it's always the same thing, then this would get applied for every single traveler that goes through this journey. But if it's something that might be different depending on who goes through the journey, like the last workday, the name of the supervisor, and the person being terminated, those sorts of things, you want to make sure that you add the token that makes the most sense here every time. The next thing that's going to happen is that the system is going to create the Word document. It's going to fill everything out with the tokens that you just added. And then it's going to, we just click the Advanced button here, and then it's going to rename the document. And it's good to have naming conventions like if you have a lot of documents like these over time, it might be good to have a certain naming convention that makes sense for it. And using things like, from the form that we just had, things like the date of the termination, maybe adding some extra details like the full name of the person being terminated, or other information that makes sense for you. Maybe the department could also be beneficial. So what we have here is actually just a Word doc. You uploaded a Word document. The system has now taken the Word document and it has changed some of the tokens into the actual information snippets that you needed. What happens next? You want to convert this into a PDF, and then the idea here in this particular journey, of course, you could have it any other way. The idea here is that once the termination meeting is scheduled on that particular date, let's just say it could be 12 o'clock or 9 in the morning, the system is going to send you a reminder to actually have the employee sign the document, for you as a supervisor to sign the document, for the employee to sign the document. And once that meeting is over, to take a photo of the document and upload it in. Once that's been uploaded, you have a printed out document. Both parties have signed it. You've taken a photo of it. It's gonna then, once you upload it, automatically send an email to HR, and that can also be a live variable or hard kind of put in a hard variable here, like the actual email it should go to, and it's going to notify HR that this has been completed, when the meeting was scheduled, those sorts of things. You could have the document itself as an attachment. So you could say, okay, now I want to make sure that the document that was uploaded here, I'm going to have that as an email attachment in this particular email, and kind of HR will take care of the rest. Or you could also simply add an integration with your HRIS, and you could have the actual file get sent into the HRIS automatically by picking the file that was uploaded. So again, of course, this could be done in so many different ways, but this is just an example of how it would actually work. Now again, to add travelers to this journey, what would happen is that the supervisor would simply go in here, they'd click Add to Journey, and they could type in the name of the employee that's being let go and simply click the Add button. And once they do that, the employee that's being terminated has been added here, and the journey can be started with the click of a button, and then the process has started. So now the supervisor just got an email to fill out this form, etc., just like we showed you. So hopefully this has been useful. Take a look at it, try it out on your own, show us some of the things you've built. We've seen these being done in very different ways, but hopefully something useful there. So looking forward to seeing what you guys built. Thank you.